Saturday Social, brought to you by EA Sports FC with PlayStation 5.
There were some massive performances this week alone. I mean, you'll want me to mention some of your Man City boys. When you're Haaland scoring 5 goals, De Bruyne getting 4 assists. That was in City's cup win over Luton. It got a lot of people talking, Carl, about who is the best player in the Premier League right now, because we're blessed with so many top players, aren't we?
Yeah, and we thought we've got our guests here. Let's throw that question over to them. So today, we're asking you to come up with your 10 best players in the Premier League this season. Both of you have got very different lists.
Yeah.
You can see there's 10 spaces up for grabs just here. We need for you to agree on a definitive final 10. We've got 15 magnets on the table, so quite a few disagreements, I can imagine. It's going to get quite messy.
Yeah, I think it could do. So let's start with who you both think is the 10th best player in the Premier League right now. You've written yours on a cue card so that you can remember them. Hold up the magnet and reveal who you've gone with as your 10th best player.
It is tough, isn't it? Because how much do you take into consideration injuries and stuff like that, right? You have to... it's a balancing act, right? So for me, number 10, I've gone Cole Palmer.
OK. Who have you gone with, Harry?
I've gone with Rodri.
10.
OK.
That's wild.
Not having Rodri... So Rodri's higher for you?
Yeah, he is higher, yeah.
So why have you gone Cole, Theo?
He's just been Chelsea's best player this season. I thought he's been absolutely exceptional. You know, I thought it was a brave decision to leave Manchester City, but he wanted to go be a main man somewhere. And where Chelsea have been pretty poor this season, he's sort of been their glimmer of hope, and he's sort of been dragging them through the season. I feel like, you know, maybe in previous, well, especially last season, he would be nowhere near the top 10. But for what he's done at Chelsea, in the current situation, I think it's incredible. He deserves to be there.
Is he in your list? Is he higher in your list?
Yeah, he's higher on my list.
Okay.
Yeah, I think because of his age alone, he's 21 years old, and he's already won the Champions League, the Premier League, the FA Cup and the Super Cup. There's not really much else you can win, and obviously, yeah, that was credit to Man City as well, but now he's coming to Chelsea at 21 years old. It's like, what is he going to be like when he's in his prime, you know, at 26, 27, full grown, like some of the players are now? I just think he's going to be amazing. And obviously, the way he's carried, I wouldn't say carried Chelsea, or pretty much carried Chelsea.
I've been one of the shining lights.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I just think he's higher for me, so...
OK, yeah, 22 appearances, 10 goals, 6 assists.
Yeah, let's talk about the player that you've chosen, though, to go into. Rodri, the best defensive midfielder in the world right now, some would argue. Only 10th in the Premier League.
You're not happy with that?
No. OK, I'm just putting it out there. I have got Chelsea players, so I put them above, because I just think, to me... and the state we're in, for them to keep going and their work ethic and not... Basically, the way they're playing through this sort of dark time, well, they'll shine. So I've gone with Rodri because, well, I mean, he's just an amazing player, isn't he? And also, I know that comes on to the Manchester derby. If obviously Man City win today, he's going to break the record for the longest consecutive streak of not losing. Yeah,
a lot of the games that Chelsea, Man City have lost, you're right, have been when Rodri's out. That's incredible.
But
actually, the games they've lost when he's not playing.
You think he should be higher?
Yeah, we need to... So bear in mind, you've got to agree here. What are we thinking for 10th?
Rodri can't go 10th.
Do you know what you can do? We don't have to do this in order. You can put them and move them back. So where do you both, if you want to agree, you think 10, you think higher? Is there a middle ground you agree on?
I would say 6th.
Who, Rodri?
Yeah.
So are you happy to go somewhere in the middle then, Harry?
Yeah, I'd say 6th.
Because we've got to put him somewhere.
I do favour him more.
And don't forget, at the end, we can move them.
Yeah, let's
agree. If you've both got Rodri...
I'll put him 6th if we put Cole Palmer higher. How about that?
Higher than Rodri?
No, higher than 10.
Oh,
OK.
At least.
Oh, that's such a...
I like that.
traitors.
I don't know if you caught that on camera, but he just winked at me at the time. I'm scared of this guy. I don't know what he's going to do next.
Do you know what? I'll let you have this one. I'll put him 9th. But then also, the person I've got 9th is a better footballer than Cole Palmer.
But we can move them about. So let's do that and then put Rodri at 6. And don't forget, we can move them about as we go.
Yes. Right, let's have a look at who you both had in 9th before we put Cole Palmer in there. Theo, I'll come to you on this one. It was a big move. You've gone across the table. Declan
Rice, baby.
Rice, baby. Second best holding midfielder in football, Premier League.
He has been immense for Arsenal.
But it's not just his defensive work. The way he travels with the ball, I think he's one of the best travellers, the best on-the-ball footballers in the Premier League. He's so powerful when he runs. You can clearly see when he's not playing for Arsenal, we miss him.
Yeah.
he's a revelation. He's so good. He's future captain for sure.
He plays all the time. So there's one of 2 Arsenal players to play all 26 Premier League
Yeah.
games this season, him and William Saliba. And of course, a lot of people, there's very few critiques saying about he needs to chip in more goals. He's doing that as well this season. He's 4 goals, 5 assists, plays all the time. Just a brilliant.
It's also him scoring important goals.
Yeah,
like
last-minute winners.
Exactly.
So he's on your list. Have you got Declan Rice on yours?
I've got mine on. Yeah, I've got Declan Rice on mine, but he's higher for me.
Okay.
Fair enough.
But I mean,
that.
yeah, as well. Obviously, what he done for West Ham is like he's just the way he sort of like West Ham. I would have said were a little bit struggling, and they had Declan Rice come through. He obviously left Chelsea's academy, went there, and then was just a star man, wasn't he? And then he's kept it on, and also because of the pressure he must have been under, because he was like a record-breaking deal, 105 million. So he had all that pressure on his hands to go in, and I think he's just performed.
I think that's a good point, actually, because we were looking the other day, actually, at high players that have broken the transfer records, all a million-plus players. There's actually a lot that haven't actually worked out of the club they've signed because of potentially the pressure that comes with it. So credit to Declan for playing so well.
Where would we have him? Because 6th and 9th taken.
I had Odegaard for 9th.
OK, so in terms of Rice first, then, if he's on both of your lists, as you've got to agree, where would you place
what I would suggest is Cole Palmer in 10. And then maybe Rice.
I really want him to be
9th.
10th, don't you?
Well, who's a better footballer, Declan Rice or Cole Palmer?
Cole Palmer.
I don't know about that.
But they're completely different players as well, aren't they?
One of them starts for England, one of them doesn't.
Yeah.
That's a great shout.
That's a good shout, but then they play in different positions.
That's true. That is true. But also, Declan Rice is better than Cole Palmer.
People argue that Declan Rice and Rodri, they're the 2 best in that position in the world, so surely they're close to one another. Would you say 7?
I would have put him high. Yeah,
7?
Yeah, 7.
Because I had him at 6.
Let's look at some, because we're doing this in a quite unorthodox way.
My list is out the window now.
In terms of the players that were towards the bottom end of your, obviously these are still the top 10 best players. Who else did you have in the sort of 10 to 8 position that we haven't covered?
Well, I had
so far?
Cole Palmer 10 and I put Declan Rice 9.
Yeah. So who was on 8 on your list?
8 was William Saliba.
Okay. Harry. Who have you got?
8 was. Oh, I don't even know if I want to say it now, but Mo Salah.
Oh, Salah.
Wow, that's a great shout. Not a great shout in terms of a good shout, a great shout in terms of
for Salah.
what?
Everyone keeps saying, Salah's not been as good as he has been in previous years, but he has. I feel like he has, but he's still getting the numbers.
Like, this season, and I'm talking, he has an injury, we know that, understand
but he's still up there with the numbers.
That's the thing, actually. I think that's the point you make about Salah is he gets judged on Mo Salah standards.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're judging him on when he wins Golden Boots. He's had 21 appearances, 20 starts, 15 goals and 9 assists, like you were saying, and people are saying he's not at the level. He's still been phenomenal for Liverpool this season. Has to be on this list.
Was Mo Salah in yours?
Yeah, I put Salah at 5.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So more disagreements just there between 5.
I would, looking at my list, I would move him higher. To be fair.
Would you? Okay. Yeah. And you've gone Saliba.
Saliba, yeah. I feel like I had Saliba at 8, right? But in terms of their position and where they stand in world football, I think Declan Rice and Saliba are both. You can put either one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saliba arguably is the second best centre back in the league. So I feel like I feel like we're very favourable to the attacking players, but you've got to put honourable mention.
Okay,
I agree.
So we're going to miss a few players, aren't we?
Is
Rightly so with your
list.
list.
Is Saliba in your list?
No.
That's crazy.
I had Thiago Silva.
Just
because I think if you're thinking of it as a whole, now we're talking he's a world-class player, he's done it all. He's nearly 40 years old and he can still keep up with the Premier League.
But it's not a list of how well they've done in their career, it's a current list.
This season. Who would you rather, Thiago Silva or Saliba, in your team right now?
Who would you rather?
Harry.
Why'd you look at me? You know exactly what I'm going to say. Thiago Silva.
Fair. OK. William Saliba, Mo Salah, the ones that we're talking about.
I'll take Saliba.
Though.
Then,
If you want to put Salah on there, I will happy with 5.
You had him in 5th, am I correct? Yeah, I am.
And Harry had him in 5th, I think, as well, didn't you? Or you had him a bit...
No, he had Thiago Silva 5th, but Mo Salah 8th. So, are we...
I'd put him in top 5.
OK, you're both happy with 5?
Yeah.
Mo Salah?
Depends about what you think.
I'm happy with Salah in 5.
I love that we
get into some...
Yeah, we don't have a 10 just yet.
The fact that the list is... Yeah, where's Salah?
Salah's there. Go on, stick him. Harry, you might stick him up.
5, yeah.
5,
It's stressing me out now because there's a player on here that should be... who I've put in 7th, right?
Go on. Who's that?
Saka.
OK.
But I can't feel like he can be above
Salah.
Salah.
Yeah.
No, OK, fair enough.
But he doesn't go below Cole Palmer. Is that what you're saying?
But I feel like he's below Rodri. So I would move all these down and put Saka in 7.
But you'd still have Cole Palmer above Saka, would you?
I wouldn't. Looking at that, I wouldn't have Saka.
You wouldn't have Saka in your top
I'd put
10?
Conor Gallagher.
Would you? So
Yeah.
Saka doesn't make your top 10 this season?
Not this season, nah.
What do you mean?
Just a work rate. Like I've said, I'm going
He's
from
got
like
better-
how
he's got better numbers than
they're in a
last
dark
season.
time, and we've got certain players that are still shining that no one's given them the benefit of the doubt. And someone like Conor Gallagher, who's just worked. You see how much like distance he covers running up. And
But
down the
it's
pitch
all well and
like
good
yo-yo.
running, and don't get me wrong, Conor Gallagher's been exceptional for you lot, but you're sat mid-table.
Is that not part of the argument, though? I'm going to try and help you here, Harry, OK? He's doing it in a Chelsea team that's not as good as the Arsenal squad, and he's shining through
Let's put
Conor
Matthias
Gallagher.
Cunha in then.
Is he on there?
No.
I was going to say he should be. He should be.
Saka is one of the best footballers in the league, in the world, especially in his position, right?
I agree.
He's a better footballer than Cole Palmer.
Who would you rather have, Saka?
Well,
or Cole
I'll
Palmer?
put Saka, because then otherwise I'm looking biased, don't I?
And you don't want to look biased.
I don't want to look biased.
Would you rather have Cole Palmer than Saka?
I'd rather just have the whole Chelsea team.
OK.
There we go.
Very honest.
Would you
Okay.
agree?
This
like,
seems
in
fair.
there?
Yeah. So what, we're moving Saliba down to 9,
You put-
Declan Rice to 8.
Are you moving Deck down as well? OK. And Saka at 7.
I think it's tight. It is tight because
Okay.
you also got to look at these 3 players and say, in their positions, they're equally as good as each other, I'd say.
What team do you
Is this not your bias? Yeah, I was going to ask you.
But
That's why I'm wondering.
look, I'm Arsenal, but if you look at my top 5,
Really?
I think that really
good.
Unbiased, that is correct.
OK.
They are I'd agree and say 3 of the best players.
There's a
in the
reason
league.
Arsenal challenged for the title last year and I was challenging for the title this year, and those 3 players are the reason.
Right, well,
Well, one was at West Ham last year, but I know.
But this year, yeah.
I know what you're saying.
let's
OK.
have a look at top 4 then.
Top
They're
four
the
then.
Still
football
got
jobs, though, aren't they?
how many?
Oh.
8 magnets to...
8 magnets left. I think there's a few that are...
Yeah, aren't they, though?
I'm not replying to that.
So you've got a couple of Chelsea boys you want to chuck in the mix here, Harry?
Well, no, because I would have put them in. The
Already.
So Conor
Yeah.
Gallagher and Thiago Silva you want to give honorary mentions to, but they're not in your top 4.
Yeah,
just to-
nah, not my top 4. No.
OK,
That's fair enough.
fair enough.
We've lost 2 of those, that's fine.
Who else have you got from your list, yeah?
4?
What, my top 4? It's hard looking at that now. But obviously, the Man City players, like Kevin De Bruyne, for me, would be number 1. I just think he's unreal,
What
the way
player?
he can move the ball. And like, I think he's the best midfielder in the world right now, really. I don't think there's anyone that comes...
I don't want to
Too
look biased,
close.
so I'm not going to say
I just
this
think,
one.
like, whenever you... Like, if you ever wanted a player on your team, it'd be Kevin
Yeah.
De Bruyne. Like, he
Big
can
game player as
score,
well,
he
isn't
can
he?
play, he's a big game player. He turns up. Like, so, yeah.
I agree and I
first.
disagree. I agree with he is the best footballer in the world, but this is a list based off current, right? And yeah, he's just come off the back of 4
Yeah.
assists in the Cup. But if you're looking at who has been the best footballer in the Premier League this season, I think there's a different Manchester City player who's number 1.
OK. So let's go in the 4 and 3 positions then before we reveal who your tops. Who are you agreeing on, would you say?
I would put Haaland 4.
Really?
Yeah.
OK.
Top goal scorer in the league?
Yeah. There's a reason why I put him 4.
What's that?
I've got 3 other players going in 1, 2 and 3.
Cryptic, isn't it? Yeah. They're keeping us on their toes. I can see the magnets, even I
Yeah, I
don't
know, yeah, I don't know.
And I'm Haaland's biggest fan. I think he's a robot. I don't think he's human.
Yeah.
You want him-
And also, he might be. It's similar how we discussed with Salah, right? He might be hurt from how good he was last season.
Yes.
We're comparing him to last
That's a
season,
good
right?
point.
Yeah.
There's 4 names on there that I can see these magnets, and I'm thinking they could go in any order.
I agree.
Up on this board
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now. And you'll still upset everyone on the internet. So, Theo, who are you going for it for?
Haaland.
Haaland, Harry?
I would have had to have put him second.
See, I agree with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Meet at 3 then, do you? In the middle?
Yeah, I can do.
We can
you want,
readjust
yeah.
at the end. Let's
Thank
get
you.
let's get them up there and we'll see how it looks.
Any other non-City players that you had in your top 4?
yeah.
Yeah.
So you had Son in your top 10, but
Yeah.
was he at a different order? And you've got Conor Gallagher and Thiago Silva who haven't made the cut. You've also got, who's that? I can't see. Odegaard, Van Dijk, some big names in
Yeah, Van
Yeah,
Dijk's
no.
got to go up there.
So I originally put Haaland 4, Van Dijk 3rd. That's such a lie. I didn't do that. I put Haaland 4, Van Dijk 2nd.
Okay.
Yeah, I would put now, looking at that, Van Dijk 4th.
OK.
And Phil Foden and Kevin De Bruyne are up there.
I don't. Oh, and you like that.
Let's talk about Van Dijk as well, because
Yeah, I
what a
mean,
season he's
what a
having. And
player.
again, like, I think he's someone that he had that amazing season where he was second in the Ballon d'Or. People often compare to that season, but he has been brilliant for Liverpool this season. And if you think of the Cup final, scored 2 goals, and you earlier said you thought the first one was harsh. Player of the match, he's a phenomenon for Liverpool, isn't he?
How tall is he? Because I feel like, I don't know whether he does actually defend with aura, but it feels like he does. So when he's on the pitch, I look at him and say, you're double the size of every other human on that pitch. The way he just jumps for the ball, he attacks it, is so difficult. Imagine you're a striker and you're coming up against Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah.
You think this is not going to be a good day. And he's proving everyone wrong, where when he came back from his injury, he wasn't as good, and he might still not be as good as he was before, but the fact that he's not as good as he was before and still is the best centre-back in the league shows the levels. Well, Van Dijk.
I was at the game on Sunday. He's just so confident on the ball. It's
that aura that you mentioned.
It sounds
aura.
weird, but he does have an aura about him.
OK, so I think like we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, 2 and 1. There's 2 players that we've mentioned the names already. Let's get them up there and we can debate what positions they go
you
in.
would put Phil Foden above Kevin De Bruyne?
Only in this specific list. No, if it's who's the best footballer in the world or who's the best footballer in the league, I'll put Kevin De Bruyne first. But because it's a list based off this season, I'll put Foden first.
What is it about Phil this season that you think he's just shone through?
He's playing in his favourite position when KDB was out. Seems to be he's scoring more goals. He's contributing more to the team. I feel like he's just got a bit more freedom, and most importantly, I think he's played more minutes than he's ever done previous, and we're only in March.
Yeah, 24 starts from 26 appearances, 9 goals, 7 assists. Harry, where do you stand on the last 2, and what order are they going for you?
I still would have put KDB up top, like number 1.
But he has missed a lot
because
this season.
he's missed, but that's because he was injured. But then his return from injury is like he's not been out, so like he's sort of come straight back in, was assisting straight away. So
they're limited numbers though, limited.
Do you know
minutes,
what?
Sorry.
If you disagree, should we go with the Man City fans to have the final say? Because I know that you're a big fan of both of them.
I am. Oh, this is difficult.
Who's been your best player this season?
Oh, it's
You would've
so
said
hard
Haaland.
because Kevin De Bruyne has come back and hit the ground running. I would say Phil Foden's in the form of his life right now, and he's filled that position when Kevin wasn't there. So I'd say Kevin second, Phil first. I probably actually would have said Haaland would have been a great shout for number 1 as well. But yeah, Kevin De Bruyne second, Phil Foden first. This is just on their performances this season.
Kevin De Bruyne
right now.
He is the best footballer in the world. I think Kevin De Bruyne is the best footballer in the world.
Yeah.
One of the best of all time. But this season, Foden has been better because he's played more.
He's a generational talent, and he's finally finding that form that everyone's questioned him for years.
But also, Haaland is like 2 months younger than Foden, which is crazy. People forget how young Haaland is, right?
Yeah.
So there it is, confirmation of the top 10. You've achieved a lot as well. You just won the trade. Don't put yourself down, Harry. There is confirmation of their top 10. Theo and Harry agreeing on Phil Foden as the most informed, best player in the Premier League right now. Let us know what you think of that list. Couple of players that didn't quite make the cut. You've got Son there, you've got Odegaard, Conor Gallagher, Thiago Silva.
No Alisson, no goalkeeper.
No Alisson, Jared Bowen as well, Ollie Watkins.
I've got Alisson because he deserves to be in there, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like it's like illegal to put a goalkeeper in the top 10.
OK. Well, we'll ask the viewers. Let us know what you think at home of that selection. No, that we'll be debating it going into the ad break as well.